In this video, we're going to be going over Plex Agents, and these are basically what Plex uses to download metadata for your media, as well as match them to what movie it is, basically. So it's what's used to bring down posters, backgrounds, and other information. You can see which agent is used for each library under the three dots here, then under Edit, and then Advanced. And it'll show the agent right here. So this is the agent that's used. By default, you don't really have to change what agent's been used because it's usually the best agent that's already chosen, but it's just good to know which one's been used, so you'll be able to know which settings to change in the next step. So if I cancel out of that and go to Settings, then go to Server, then Agents, you can see that the agent settings are here. And under Movies, we saw that Plex Movie is what's been used, so we're going to go into Plex Movie because if we change either of the other two, it's not going to affect anything. So, how Plex Agents work are that it gets metadata in the order that you can see here from top to bottom. So first it'll look for local media, then it'll look under Plex Movie, then it'll look under fanart.tv, then this, then this. So that's the order that it picks up the metadata in. So if you want to change the order, you can move these around. But yeah, if you want to do that, that's up to you. But let's go through each of them so you know what each of them do. So local media assets are, as the name suggests, anything that you add locally. So anything that you put in the Plex folder, such as posters and subtitles and things like that. This means that if you add your own poster locally to the folder that the movie's in, it'll add that poster and it won't pick it up from Plex Movie underneath. So that's why you want to have local media assets at the top. And if you don't have any local media assets, then it will just skip over it because there's nothing there. And if we go to settings, to be honest, I don't actually know what this does. So if anyone knows, then be sure to tell me down below. I actually looked it up and I couldn't find any information as to what this is for. But it's nothing that I've needed, so you can just keep it as it is. Next is Plex Movie. And this is what gets in most of the metadata. So if we go to settings here, as you can see, there's a lot of different information here. So localized titles are basically, if there's a movie in French, for example, then it'll show the localized title. So it'll show the English version of that title. It's not going to show the French version of that title. So it's up to you if you want to have that on or not. Find trailers and extras automatically. That will, as it suggests, bring down trailers and extras automatically from the internet, but you do need a Plex Pass for that. And extras are basically extra content such as behind the scenes and just extra things like that, really. The next one is if you want the extras to only be trailers, which you can do if you want. Again, you need a Plex Pass for it though, obviously. Next is if you want red band trailers, which are basically ones that the MPAA hasn't reviewed. And after that is if you want to include extras that are in a different language but have subtitles in your library's language. And here is probably the most important part. It's where the sources are for the things that Plex Movie brings down. So this isn't everything that Plex Movies brings down. It brings down stuff like the background and posters too. But these are just the things that you can change. So the cast list is basically the cast that's in the movie. So you can change that to IMDb if you want. The rating source is basically, there's a little ratings along the top, so you can change that to Rotten Tomatoes if you want. Or again, IMDb or the movie database, depending on which one you prefer. The plot summary source, that's basically the description for the movie. So again, you can change it if you want. And country, you can set that to your country. So I'm going to change it to United Kingdom. And under that, there's use collection information from the movie database. And what collection information is basically, it'll group together movies such as Kung Fu Panda 2 and Kung Fu Panda 3 because they're all in the Kung Fu Panda collection. So that will basically put a section underneath saying Kung Fu Panda collection and will let you see both the movies. The next option is if you want to add artwork such as posters that are only in the library's language and not in any other language, even if it's a foreign film. This is if you want to allow adult content. And finally, there's this option here if you want to send anonymous data to Plex, as is the case with pretty much any service out there. Pretty much all of them have this option here. So once you're done with that, you can click save and you'll be back to this page. So the next two options here are both for artwork. So Fanart TV stores fan-made posters as well as backgrounds. So if you want those to be used instead of the actual posters and backgrounds, or the ones that Plex finds anyway, you can move that above Plex Movie. and it will pull those down first. Although you can actually manually choose these posters, even if they are underneath Plex Movie, and I'm going to show you how to do that in a future video, so stay tuned for that. And then there's Cine Material, which is basically the actual posters for the movies. It only has posters, but it's not fan-made posters, it's the actual posters. So for some reason, if you want to put that above Plex Movie, you can do that, but I don't see it having that much of a difference. And as you can see, there isn't any settings for Cine Material. There is one setting for fan art TV. It's just for if you have a personal API key, which I'm not going to explain what that does, but if you have an API key, you're going to know what it is anyway. So we'll cancel out of that. And then there's opensubtitles.org, and as the name suggests again, these are subtitles for your movie. So if you want to have subtitles on your movies, make sure that you have this checked. So just enabling that won't bring down subtitles. You actually have to go into settings here and choose what languages you want the subtitles to be in. So you can put in your username and password if you want, although it will still pull down subtitles even if you aren't signed in. But yeah, you can select what languages you want. So I can do English, French, French and Arabic, and then do save. And yeah, you can choose up to 3 languages. You can choose less than 3 languages and it'll still work. You can select as many as you want, just up to 3. So yeah, that's it for movies. Going on to shows, and it's actually the TVDB that's used by default. Yeah, there's local media assets, which again is the same sort of options and the same thing. The TVDB itself, which actually doesn't have that many options. It's just to find trailers and have extras in the subtitles language. That's basically it. The Plex theme music is that thing that I was saying about before, where when you go into a TV show, it'll play the theme music for that show. So you can have it enabled or disabled if you want. Fan art TV as well as opensubtitles.org. The same as with movies, so I'm not going to go over those again. So you can select them or deselect them if you want. To be honest, I don't really know why the movie database is there, because these aren't movies, they're TV shows. But you can also pull down stuff like collection information and like that from the movie database if you want. So you can still enable that if you want. Going into artists, Last.fm is the default agent that's been used. So we're going to go into that. And yeah, local media assets, as is always the case, is the same. Last.fm is basically the site that has a lot of music information. That is basically where Plex will pull down the information from. So if you go to settings, you can change some of these. So use genre tags. So it will say if it's pop or a soundtrack or something like that, or rock, and download concert information, which says if there's any concerts coming up. And download popular track information is basically going to show popular tracks that are by that certain artist that you go into. Although this is only actually available for Plex Pass, so it's not going to be something you're going to be able to use. That's if you're a Plex View user, I mean. Home theatre backdrops are the backgrounds that you're going to see behind artists. And fan art TV, again, is as with shows and movies, it's pretty much the same thing. Posters and backgrounds for artists. So yeah, we're going to go into albums now. Artists, again, is just for the artists, and albums is just for albums. So music is actually split up into 2 agents. So the settings under here are pretty much the same. There's local media assets, there's Last.fm, which has the same options as you can see, and there's Lyric Find, which is a different one, but it's going to bring down lyrics for the songs. So that's pretty much the only difference. There's fan art TV again too. So that's it for music. Photos, there's just photos because it's just going to be your content. So yeah, it doesn't have to pull down metadata from anywhere. So that's basically it for agents. Those are all the agents that are available for Plex. Again, if you've got any questions, be sure to ask me down in the comments down below. But for now, hope you all have a great day. I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.